Hey, I just finished listening to The Resistors by Gish Jn, which is a dystopian novel of the future where basically artificial intelligence of some sort, the algorithm, has taken over and is completely regulated people's lives, automated everything. There is a small upper class that is gets to actually still work, and then there's a whole bunch of people in this kind of underclass that are just there to consume. That is their only job, is to consume, and are highly controlled by the computers. And really, everybody is highly controlled, whether you're on the top or in the bottom. You seem to be highly controlled. And this all centers around a family where the mother is a lawyer who is legally fighting this in auto America. Auto is an automatic or kind of automated America, which is definitely not United States of America democracy as it is now, maybe, or its commentary on that world now, as most of these things are. And she's fighting stuff. Her daughter is a baseball is got it kind of gifted with a golden arm baseball, which comes into play because it becomes a thing of there's still kind of some kind of a Cold War going on between Auto America and China Russia, and the big thing is to compete in this at the Olympics in what turns out to be baseball. And yeah, yeah, it is a book where you know the house has a automated thing in it that is always watching them, always listening. They try to kind of circumvent that. The baseball itself at the beginning is something that they do on their own. That is secret leagues outside. It becomes a bigger thing when Auto America decides it wants to compete in that. And there's Aunt Nettie is what they call the kind of the intelligence that is seems to be trying to kind of like winnow people. A part of this is mall trucks with their mall food is basically winnowing people, getting them weaker and weaker and more blah and dumb to basically get rid of them in a way, winnow them away. Whether this is kind of eugenics of like you're considered surplus and we want to just sort of execute you or cast you off. There's definitely that happens even below this cast of the just people that consume. There is supposed to be, and there's just, you're getting cast off, set adrift on the ocean, and that's it, you're dead. So yeah, it's an interesting book in the sense that I think I spent the whole time thinking about who was the narrator and why they were the narrator, because the narrator isn't the daughter, the narrator isn't the mother, the narrator isn't the friend who's sort of outside of the family that's kind of resentful and kind of crosses over. The narrator is the father who is sort of supportive and is Snoopy. He kind of gets infiltrated with the same kind of surveillance culture, that the thing, and that's sort of used as a narrative thing for him to be spying on his daughter at college. So we have this whole section which is sort of him spying on his daughter and getting the official letters and then getting the pigeongram letters from his daughter to find out the different levels and her what seems like a pretty inappropriate relationship with her coach, who's like 27 but is really kind of in a position of authority, and it's all really gross. And indeed, it gets revealed his past relationships with players is also really gross, and how he handled that is really fucking gross. Um, so I spent most of the book going, why do we have him as the narrator? And I don't know if I answer that at the end. This book took me a long time to listen to because of, I think, the distance that there is of having him as the narrator. Um, yeah, yeah, it's a strange thing of the father kind of surveilling his wife and his daughter, in a way, which I don't know if is sort of a comment on the that distance in fiction itself, but it was slightly kind of just off-putting and that way. It took me a while to get through the book, and that's like an audio book, so it's like I could these things are you can just basically turn them on and listen to them, but I kind of got resistance, and it ended up getting returned to the library and then getting reborrowed again, and I did come back and finish it. I did come back and finish it. So there's that. I also got COVID in the middle of listening to it, so there's that too. So it was strong enough that I could go back and I could continue on fairly well. I don't know. I don't know. It was an interesting book, well written. I did wonder about that choice of narrator throughout, and what particularly the author was saying with that choice of narrator. It seemed interesting that way. Yeah. All right. I will leave it there. More videos later.